Is this recording? Oh, it records over. Cool. All right, so I'm just unscrewing the coupler off this barrel thing. Also, this is the assembly guide right now. If you didn't know by the title, yeah, here I'm just fitting the one of the O-rings into the end of the breech for the barrel to screw in. Yeah, you're just gonna screw that on in. It's kind of tight, so it's gonna take a little while. A little customary slap. So that's the bolt O-ring. You want to stick that into the front of the breech. This is where it's gonna intersect, interface with the shell. I don't know what that. I don't know what that O-ring is called. Still, it's still referred to as just bolt O-ring. Yeah, I think it's the only metric O-ring used in the entire assembly. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, back to the assembly video. So yeah, you're just gonna stick this a stack in the thing. I don't know what size screw this is. I think this is 1 1/4. I know I'm using standard. I'm gonna switch to metric eventually. Okay, all right. I'm working on it. We're trying to get shipments out quickly and effectively. That's the most important thing. After that, we will switch over to metric after we get our house in order. Also, we have so many screws. I'm not even talking about the assembly right now. I'm just rambling. But I mean, you can see what I'm doing. I'm not sure if this. Oh, actually, I should voice over this part because the end of the mag spring isn't ground. It like builds up a bunch of tension. So what I just did right there is I know this is not lining up with the video anymore, but I was just taking out the tension in the spring, so I was sticking that screw in there. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. You just stick O-rings on. You don't need glue for this, by the way. It just fits. I've never had one fall out, but if it does fall out, let me know, and then we'll change it. Same for this. This also just sticks on in. Depending on your print tolerance, it might not. So if that doesn't work out, put some glue in it. Yeah, this just fits on. This is just the sliding assembly on the plunger assembly thingy. I really like this assembly. It just fits on in. Yeah, it just fits on in. It's just yeah. So that's the really tiny lever lock. You want to stick this in the little nub face down, so it doesn't pop out. Also, it won't fit if you put it the other way. You can see me squeezing it in there. It's a bit of a balancing act over here of maintaining the position of that lock and not having a spring on out. Because if you let go, this is flying across the room into the void, the great abyss, and this is black right now. That's gone. It's going to be gone if you lose that. But it's pretty easy not to lose it. Just have some basic dexterity, you know. Yeah, you just screw this in. I like this close-up shot. I might take more videos close-up. It's just really cool. Oh, this is not cool anymore. We're now far away. Why are we zoomed out? It should be zoomed in. It's just cooler. Anyways, I'm just doing a test fit to make sure these binding bolts fit through. You're not actually assembling it here yet. So this is the bolt lock for the bolt assembly to keep it staying open, and also keeps it locked in a little bit, but mostly keeps it open. So when you're putting your lever back in, it hits it at the right spot. Squish, squish, squish. It goes on in. Yeah, same here. It doesn't need glue most of the time, but check your tolerances. Yeah, I'm just showing how it interacts. Ooh, a zoom in. Oh wow, it looks kind of messy. Well, you know, I'm not gonna see this anyways. Yeah, just apply some glue. This part does need glue. I haven't figured out a way of making this not require glue. So just put some glue in, then put the little O-ring in it. I think this is a 110 O-ring. I don't know. It'll be easy to see. It's pretty distinct from everything else. I'm just using this shell to kind of align it and push it into place. What am I looking for now? Oh, this is the extractor pin. It's weird. I'm like doing a voiceover for my own actions. Yeah, I left a little bit of brim on there. I'm just poking it out. Yeah, so there's the hole. Just gonna stick the whole thing in. So it's a bit of a tight fit. It's kind of compliant, air quotes. You gotta shove it in there. Yeah, like that, and then it stays in. The alignment is pretty easy, no alignment tool. You just kind of push your thumb, hold the extractor in the open position, and then you just wiggle this pin in. I'm not shoving, I'm wiggling, because the whole point is if you shove, you might just make a new hole, tear a new hole in your extractor, and you don't want that. Yeah, I'm just showing the fit and the ejection. That's just, how it works. So this part, it works great for me, but I'm not sure if it's going to work for you guys super well, but you have to press fit this in. I have special pliers for pressing this in, but you can just kind of shave it a little bit. It just needs to hold in, and it's geometrically locked, so it's not gonna like, even if it was a loose fit, it wouldn't fall out. So, wow, we skipped over that part really quickly. I'm just putting the stock pad on now. But yeah, so yeah, you just want to make sure that they get that on in there, the extractor, I mean. Wow, you can really see Black & Decker's logo from here. Sponsor me, Black & Decker. Yeah, how far are we in? We're 5 minutes in. I think this whole assembly is about 16 minutes long. These are 1/2 inch screws, by the way. Oh, so this is another press fit. Maybe you guys are gonna hate me, but you gotta press fit this in. You can shave it down a little bit, but again, I'm using the Knipex pliers. They're called Knipex. You didn't know they're called Knipex? That's how it's pronounced. That's how their own company calls it that. It's definitely Knipex. It's like a GIF situation where the creator says it differently than most people say it. Yeah, so this is how I put it in. I put the spring on in first, and then I assemble it that way. You could also screw it in first and then stick the spring in. That's how I used to do it, but I found that this is just a little easier. Yeah, you don't want this to be too tight, of course, because it's a moving pivot. You just want to tighten it up and then back it up a little bit until it's nice and smooth. Look at that. Look at that action. Look at those red and blacks. Yeah, I'm just pointing out that you want to make sure that this is nice and cleaned. It's going to print with supports. It's going to interlock with some assemblies, so you want to make sure that part is nice and clean. Yeah, so this is the way I put this together is I preload all of these moving plunger parts. There's a little bit of lube in my hand. What am I going to do? I'm going to wipe it on the table. This is bad practice. You should definitely wipe it on a towel instead of just leaving a mess everywhere. Yeah. Also, I assembled this wrong. See, I even put it on the... Oh, wait, no, I didn't. I edited it out. Look at that. It looks like I know what I'm doing. Yeah. So you want to make sure it snaps into place. And then you use that to lock it in. This next step isn't necessary. I'm just doing it to show how it works and just make sure everything's working out. I just put the screw in there and the trigger just to make sure the trigger works. Look at that, it's triggering. Trigger? I hardly know her. Ha ha ha. Okay, this part you're actually going to assemble. And you want to make sure that that little lump thing is facing outwards. That's basically a spacer. You're going to Loctite this. Ooh, look at the zoom. Look at this detail. Look at my thumb. Oh no, there's grime in my thumb. Look at that little blue cyan. You can use super glue, but Loctite is better. But you also technically don't need anything here. I just feel more comfortable with some Loctite there. I don't know if I need to narrate every step. I feel like some of this is really self-explanatory. Like, do you need me to explain that this is where the lever goes? Probably not, right? Oh, this step actually, I screwed that in for ease, but you're gonna take that out later. Yeah. So, yeah, you just stick that on in. Did I Loctite the screw in yet for the lever? I guess I must have, right? Oh no, I'm doing it now. Okay. Yep, just Loctiting that in. Screw, screw, screw. Yeah, look at that little floppy guy. So this is the part I kind of messed up. Well, not really messed up. It's just you have to loosen that bottom bit to get this to fit. And then I think I'm going to tighten again, which is really unfortunate because I'm going to tighten and untighten that screw over and over again. Okay, we're mostly done. Where are we at? We're like 9 minutes in. All right, so this is the way I assembled this stock. This took me a couple tries to get right. I kept like changing the way I assembled it. You're going to put your 3/4 inch screws on this side. This is just going to make it easier. It used to just be one big screw going all the way through, but that just made assembly, this sub-assembly really annoying. So, yeah, just going to put these screws in. I'm adjusting the camera, I guess. Ooh, another 3/4 inch screw, a really weird size screw. Yep, that's where it goes. It's going to lock on in. I hope I got those tolerances right. It's okay if it wiggles a little bit, but of course it'd be better if it just was a nicer fit. This is 3/4 inch screws again. I think this is 1.5 inch screw. You can always just eyeball it to find out which screw you need. And that top screw I just put in is 1 1/4. Oh wait, no, I took it back out because you need to put this in first. Oh no. Oh, I didn't show taking it out. Anyways, that's 1 1/4. You gotta stick down in. Oi, this voiceover is taking forever. Yeah, I'm putting the sear channel trigger assembly in. I'm just pointing that you don't want this to be too tight. Because if it's too tight, then it's not gonna sear. It's not gonna catch. Look at me using my drill as a screwdriver instead of just undrilling. Yeah, I'm just popping that little white piece out. You want that to be sticking out a tiny bit. It doesn't have to be at this step. It's okay if it falls back in. It's just when you want to put the whole linkage together, you're gonna need that space. And it's okay if it falls out. You can always just poke it out with the spring again. All right, now I'm showing how to combine these two parts. It's absolutely the most annoying part of the entire assembly. I think I'm gonna flip it to the other side so I can show you better. Yep, there we go. Look at past me doing this at like 2 a.m. This is 2 a.m. by the way. I could not sleep, so this is what I'm doing. Yeah, yeah. So you want to make sure that's see how I'm like pulling it out a little bit. Yoink. Um, yeah, this doesn't have to be a very tight fit. It's just a pin, basically. I'm just using a screw as a pin. Yeah, I'm gonna wiggle this in, and you're gonna see me wiggling the lever to try to get this in the right spot. I'm moving that out of the way because that screw by the trigger is in my way. See, that's the screw I keep pulling in and out, because it's just in my way. What am I doing next? I'm gonna flip it. All right, so now you just can, I think there's just a couple screws left. This is the main assembly. I think at this point you're putting screws in, and then look at that, it's moving by itself. Ooh, see, I'm gonna pull that screw out again. Oh, yeah, it's gotta be something to be done about that. Maybe put a nut over there just because it gets taken in and out so many times. Yeah, so you're gonna put your trigger in, and then yeah, all these screws, these 3 screws next to each other, they're all 1.5 inch. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you're gonna put that on in, and I think now you close. Yep, I don't even show closing the lever. Oh, I'm gonna make a mistake here. I'm gonna put this upper before putting the door in place. Oh yeah, I'm just explaining. You gotta pull the bolt back first before you put the upper because the ejector is gonna be in the way. If you don't do that, then you're gonna break your ejector, or it's just not gonna go in. You're gonna be like, "Why is this not going in?" And then we're gonna come back to this part of the video, and I'm gonna be like, "You gotta pull it back." Oh, I'm struggling to get this thing on. Yeah, this is me figuring out. I was like, "Oh no, I done goofed. I gotta put the door on first." I think the door in future builds is a tighter fit. Right now, it's like a little loose. It's not really an issue because it's going to be held captive by this whole assembly. Um, but yeah, just future builds, it fits in, so it's not wiggling around. Um, yeah, so this back is going to take 1 inch screws, and then the front's going to take 3/4 inch screws. I don't know what I'm talking about right now in this video. Oh, I think oh, you know what? You know what? This part's being left out. This is my whole rant about the door. Heath loves this door. So that's why I'm leaving it in, and I think a lot of people like the door, but I hate the door. So, and what I was doing with my hands, I was just showing my little demure hands. I have small hands. That's why like sometimes grips on all these blasters feel a little bit small. It's because my hands are small. The big grips that are normal for you, I can't hold them. It just doesn't work for me. So that's why it's made by a small hand person. That's why all these blasters feel a little funny sometimes. Also, I have a pronation issue in my right hand, so I can't twist the humerus part of my hand, which is why I actually can't even use these lever guns normally. That's why it's gonna look kind of awkward as I'm operating all these lever guns. I need a pistol grip, otherwise it just. I'll show you in a video later or like a picture. Maybe I'll superimpose. Yeah, I'll superimpose something just to show what it's like for me to shoot these things and what my optimal shooting angle is. Oh yeah, at this point the blaster is done. You're just gonna like adjust it and put the different springs in. I don't think I need to explain how to put the spring assembly in the back. It's pretty straightforward. There's a pin and a spring rest. You're gonna remove that and put the new spring in. You can adjust whatever spring size you want. I don't know what spring I'm gonna include with this. I don't know if I'm gonna do a pre-cut or just a full size length and then have you guys cut it on your own. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't have the tools for that. So maybe that's not a good idea. Maybe I'll put a long spring and a short spring, or maybe I'll just put that in the hardware kit option. Like, what spring you want? Do you want the stock spring, or do you want like something else? Yeah, I'm re-recording this because I accidentally punched the mic. I don't want to like assault your eardrums with a mic punch. Yeah, the rest of the video is just me shooting it, I guess, and whatnot. And yeah, it's not much going on at this point. So yeah, it shoots, it levers. Oh, I'm just depriming it now. I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. Um, I might forget to put that edited thing of me holding the lever gun in it, or maybe I just don't care. Um, yeah, it's an assembly video. It's not like a super well produced thing. It's also really long. Oh, I'm running out of time. I think that's it. I think this is me being all like, yeah, that's it. That's the whole thing. You have a lever gun now. Have fun. Post pictures, please. I want to see those pictures. Gooba, 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 gaba, 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 blah, 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 blah. Okay, bye.